Hello, Hornet Land. Welcome to HornetCast, episode 13. I'm Dr. Don. I'm your host, and today we have a very special guest with us, David Greenberg, the famous author, who I understand he was at CAG 20 years ago.
Yes.
And he's back and he's returned. He's already had a chance to meet with some of our kids and work with them with their writing.
Yes.
And he is the author of many different books, but most of them I'd say are children's books and kind of fun poetry and verse. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how many books you've written?
I've written 12 books of poetry,
Okay.
published by major American publishers, and one novel, a young adult novel. And
Is this the young adult novel?
yes, and
Okay.
writers always need to be growing, blossoming, trying new things. And since I believe in that, it's just the way I'm wired. In the last several years, I've started writing for magazines. And I do a completely different kind of writing for magazines. I write travel and food articles for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because I love writing and I want to explore everything that I'm capable of doing.
Wonderful. You were just telling me a few minutes ago that you're part of the international school scene from
Yes.
the past. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, my wife is an international teacher. Right now she's working in the United States, but she taught for 2 years at RAS, that's the Rabat American School in Morocco.
Very good school.
Yes, it's a very good school. And then we came back to the States, and then we still had the Wanderlust. She got a job at HKIS, which stands for Hong Kong International School. And if you like noodles,
I do. I love noodles. So.
then Hong Kong, you simply have to go there, even if you have to swim. That's the noodle center of the universe.
They got good noodles. I've been to Hong Kong. I've actually been to Hong Kong International School
Yes.
for a conference in the past, and very, very prestigious, great school. And
Yeah.
so how is it working with international schools? Because I know that you have gone to many international schools to work with the students.
Yeah, I sure have. I love to travel, and it's a good way to do it. I've been to interesting places that have been so fascinating. I like being here very much. I like trying the foods. Yesterday, I went to a little food hall where they had a restaurant that served pupusas, which I guess are related to this area.
Delicious. Yep.
Yeah, really good. And arepas.
Arepas.
Arepas, okay. Delicious. Oh my gosh. But I've been to interesting places. Last year I was in India,
Oh, okay.
and I'll never forget I ate pink guava ice cream with a little bit of salt on top. It made me crazy. It was so good.
Oh, wow.
And tandoori, oh my gosh. But I've been in Uzbekistan, I've been in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Lagos, Nigeria. Now in Lagos, Nigeria, the people who invited me were Mark and Lisa Patton, who taught at this school in 2003.
Oh, wow.
And I've corresponded with them. They have the most affectionate memories of teaching here. And so I just feel connected to it from them.
The international world is actually a really small world.
Yes.
And so some of our parents that are listening to this HornetCast right now, they probably had the Pattons as teachers.
Oh,
That's very possible.
yes. They're remarkable teachers. Like most of the teachers I've met, if not all of them, a real passion for teaching and a deep knowledge base.
Awesome. So you got a chance to hang out with the kids a little bit this morning. I saw your schedule. It's packed. So you're
That's
like,
right.
bam, running from one thing to the next. You got this HornetCast kind of squeezed in,
Yeah.
but you get to meet with the kids. What are you doing with the kids and what are you seeing?
Well, today I'm doing writing workshops, and I must say the kids are good listeners, which is vital in order to be a good student. It's a pleasure to work with students like that, and they know how to follow a teacher's instructions, and they're very good writers. I've been impressed by that. I'm going to talk to the teachers a little bit just give them a few ideas that they might use in their classrooms, just to pump up their writing program a little bit if they're looking for that. And then tomorrow, I'm going to give readings from my books. I mainly write poetry, and I'm just going to read lots of poems I've written. Most of my books are illustrated, and I've got incredible pictures to show from artists who just are so good. I can't believe it's possible. I think everyone's going to enjoy them.
Awesome. Well, I have a couple of your books that I stole from Miss Tracy's shelf from when you came 20 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
And so we have Snakes here, we have Boys and Girls,
Yes.
and we have Don't Forget Your Etiquette,
That's
which
me.
I was reading through these, and they're quite entertaining. And
Yeah.
as you said, the illustrations are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. I'm wondering if you could read a little bit and show the pictures for Snakes, just so our audience at home, who's not going to be here tomorrow, can kind of get a little feel for
Yeah,
what
let's
you'll
see
be
if I
doing
can-
with the kids.
Let's see if I can point this the right way. You're the kind of kid who likes to wrestle squid or battle in the bathtub with a shark.
That's pretty good. You know that from memory, so I'm impressed.
In no uncertain terms, you love the squirms of worms or hunting after werewolves in the dark. From everything we hear, you haven't any fear. Well, hardly any fear, for goodness sakes. There's only one exception. Now, don't attempt deception. Let there be no misconception. Snakes. And that's the start of my Snakes book. A lot of poems written for kids are very, very sweet. And I like sweetness and I like sweet writing. But you might say that my writing is sweet and sour.
Okay.
And in my view, that's a good taste. And I think some kids like that taste. And that's what you'll get from me in my books. And tomorrow at my poetry reading, I'll read lots of these poems and you'll get a sense there's very much a David Greenberg style. I love strong rhyming. I love strong bounce or meter to the poem. I love a strong, sweet and sour imagery. And you'll see what I mean when you hear my poems tomorrow.
Well, that's excellent. Where are you from originally, David?
Well, some of you may catch an accent. I was born and raised in New York City.
Okay.
And then I went out to a college in Portland, Oregon called Reed College, which is famous, well, for some things, but it's the only undergraduate college in America that has its own nuclear reactor. Luckily, they didn't put me in charge of it. And the guy who started Apple Computer was my classmate, Steve Jobs. And I never was his friend. I never knew him, but I saw him on campus. And I wish I was his friend. If I can go back in time, I'm going to take care of that.
Right. At Reed College, I know where it is. I'm from Washington State.
Yeah, we're in Washington.
Yep. I'm from Spokane, Washington, but Reed's kind of on the other side, but
Yeah.
beautiful spot.
You know,
Nice college.
I'm as I mentioned, I'm also a journalist and I do travel and food writing, and I'm going to be traveling all over Washington soon on various journalist trips. And I'm not going to Spokane. I'd like to do that, but I'll be going to Bellevue, which now has some of the best Chinese restaurants in America, interestingly. I'll be going to Yakima.
Yeah.
I'll be spending a lot of time in Yakima.
My sister-in-law and her family lives in Yakima. So
That's where I'll be. And I'll
Great
be in
food
other
there.
places too. I can't even keep track of it all. It's interesting to do.
Great Mexican food in Yakima.
I think I'm
Some
scheduled
of
to
the
go to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. It's
And I'll write about the
Excellent.
travel and I'll write about the food.
also in Yakima, they have a burger place that has a hamburger that's this big. And if you eat the whole thing, you get a t-shirt and you get your picture on the wall. There's not very many people that can eat the whole thing, but it's a huge hamburger.
I wonder if it's worth risking death. to do
I
it.
don't know. I don't know. But I think you have a pretty cool job. One of the coolest jobs in the world, possibly.
Well, I feel blessed. I went to college, and in college I studied religion, and I have a degree in religion from Reed College. But my hobby was writing poetry. I wrote poetry because my dad read me poetry, and I got out of college and I said, I'm going to write poetry. And it's a difficult hill to climb, but many hills are difficult. And I chose to try my hardest to climb it. And it took a long while, but I became published and started to make my living at it. And then when I was in Hong Kong with my wife, when she taught at Hong Kong International School, I just felt a drive. I want to write restaurant reviews because I love food. I love noodles. I love dumplings. I need to write about it. And I started writing about it, and I started placing my articles with online magazines in Hong Kong. And then we came back to the States, and I just felt the passion to write more. And I hooked up with a magazine called Northwest Travel and Life.
Oh, yeah.
And I started sending in my articles, and at first they rejected them, but eventually they came to know my name, my style, and now I write lots for them, and it's so much fun. And some of you kids who are watching this, you probably will look for a job someday, and there's so many fun things. One fun thing, if you like words, if words are delicious and wonderful to you, is to write books and write for magazines. And that's what works for me. I was raised in a bowl of alphabet soup by my parents. And so that's what I've chosen. And maybe for some of you, it's a good career.
Now, did you see some of our students with that talent where maybe they're in that bowl or on the edge of that bowl of alphabet soup today?
You bet I did. I saw kids who just had that wordfulness. They kind of liked words, and they tried for good, strong, interesting words. And that's one of the marks of a writer. And that can blossom in wonderful, wonderful ways if you choose to follow that path.
I think one of the challenges, David, that our teachers face is that we're a bilingual school. And so we're teaching everything in Spanish and in English. So time becomes a commodity that we sometimes suffer. We don't have all the time. The teachers don't have all the time that they would like with the kids. Writing is one of those things that's time consuming also. You need lots of time writing and workshopping. And so what advice would you give to the teachers after seeing our kids and where they're at with their writing, maybe comparing it to kids in America and kids in other countries? What advice would you give that could pick them up a little bit, but that would also help them, as you said, improve the writing program at CAG?
Well, there's no unified field theory of reading and writing. And what I'm going to say is obvious. I have no particular wisdom, but if you care about writing and you want to be a writer, or you're teaching kids to love writing, the best thing you can do is read a lot. Reading, it's like Chinese dumplings and noodles. It's delicious, it's great, it's nourishing, it's wonderful, it's exciting. You don't even know you're becoming a writer, but when you're reading, you are becoming a writer because without even realizing it, you're learning how words can fit together. You're learning the jigsaw puzzle so you can do it yourself. So in any way you can encourage reading, you are encouraging writing. Obviously, in a dual language school, it is a challenge, but where you can, when you can, how you can, push it, and it will yield dividends 20 years down the road.
So our parents can pick up your books and other books and put them at home and read with the kids at night. That gives us time that we don't have during the school day.
Oh my gosh. It is the best nourishment for a child's intellectual growth, particularly in anything having to do with words. Read to them, read with them, let them see you reading, talk to them. Words are nourishing and will pay academic dividends. Do all you can, and it will be positive.
And I was thinking about this, David. In the world that we live in, it's a world with words.
Yes.
We even talk about social media and the expansion of AI and everything else that's going on, but it's all dealing with words,
Yes.
right? And so becoming a better writer just gives you more opportunities in your future for whatever you want to do. So kids might want to go into this. They might want to do food reviews and eat good food all over the world and write for that, but they might want to be a corporate business leader in the community, or they might want to take over the family business. No matter what they do, writing and that relationship with words will be a valuable tool and skill.
Words give you leverage. And in any way you can, just nourish with your kids with words, and it will be positive. It has to be, because kids absorb and they emulate. And so do all you can in any way that works for you, and it will come back in positivity for your kids.
Excellent. Have you happened to write any books about hornets? Because we're the Hornets here. We have our own book that we wrote for our preschool students. We Are Hornets in Spanish and in English. But we're wondering if you've written about snakes, you've written about slugs, have you written about hornets?
I have not written about hornets, but I have written about bugs, which bear some relation. I'll read it tomorrow in my poetry reading, but it starts: beetles, bedbugs, bottle flies, tarantulas the size of pies, with lots and lots and lots of eyes, staring at you, bugs. And that's the start.
Okay.
And I will read more. And tomorrow I will also, with PowerPoint, show lots of luscious pictures. And it's not the same thing, but it's a little bit close.
Yeah, no, it sounds like fun. I'm going to have to swing by and check out the readings tomorrow.
Please do.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming to our school. We would encourage you to write a book about hornets so that we can put that on our... No, if you'd like to, maybe you could come up with some really cool stuff about hornets. And
yeah.
We love hornets here. But we're just really excited to have you here. We appreciate you working with the kids, with the writers' workshops, reading to the kids. But also, I think the community really appreciates that we have such an esteemed author coming and working with our teachers, talking to them about here's how you can up your writing program in the school and help the kids become better writers. Because I think that you were telling me earlier that the kids are in a good place.
Yes.
With their writing.
Yes.
That even compared to other countries, they might even be a little bit ahead.
Well, I can compare them to the United States as a very rough generality, with all the exceptions that come with generalities. These kids are writing above their peer level in the United States. They're strong. They've got a sense of momentum. I can sense the teaching that's gone in and how they're utilizing it. Your kids are in a good place when it comes to academics. And I, traveling all over the world, can see this. And it's a pleasure as a teacher to work with kids who are responsive.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear from you, and we're so thrilled to have you here and
Thank you.
honored to have you here. We always end our Hornet Cast with a tradition.
Yeah.
We get to say, "Go Hornets," and there's sometimes we have kids on the show, and they're really enthusiastic, so we got to really bring it.
Got it.
So on the count of three, we're gonna say, "Go Hornets." Okay, 1, 2, 3. Go Hornets! Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you.